What would you have me do? Just after I said, Stephanie, would you like some more Cabernet? Should I have said, excuse me, I have to call my mummy?
Remember when TV tried to explain the entire 1980s by putting two ex-hippies under the same roof as a teenage conservative who treated his briefcase like a security blanket?
Because I would hate for people to view me as insecure.
Yeah, that was Family Ties. Michael J. Fox's Alex P. Keaton wasn't just a character, he became the decade's favorite young capitalist, quoting Milton Friedman at the breakfast table while his parents were still preaching peace, love, and social justice. Meredith Baxter and Michael Gross played Stephen and Elise, two former Flower children trying to understand the very driven, very opinionated son they somehow raised. Justine Bateman's Mallory turned fashion obsession into an art form, and Tina Youther's Jennifer delivered dry, no-nonsense commentary on all of it. Together, they powered NBC through 7 seasons of political debates, generational clashes, and some surprisingly emotional episodes that still hit hard today. But behind all that wholesome family sitcom charm, a lot of weird, wild, wonderfully 80s stuff was happening. Today, we're counting down 15 weird facts about Family Ties, the stories that explain how one little sitcom became a cultural landmark. Now, before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us keep the 80s nostalgia flowing, and stick around for number 1 because the real story behind Sit Ubu Sit is more emotional than you remember. Now, let's get into it with number 15. The show was All in the Family in reverse, and it wasn't afraid to get heavy. Critics famously called Family Ties All in the Family, but in reverse, and honestly, they weren't wrong. Instead of Archie Bunker yelling at his liberal son-in-law, you had two ex-hippies trying to understand a teenager who worshipped Ronald Reagan. It's the same conflict, just opposite sides. The Reagan-era reversal. And this wasn't just background flavor, the show regularly went there. Alcoholism? They handed it to Tom Hanks and let him rip your heart out.
Come on, sit down and have a drink and make you feel better. What are you doing up so late anyway?
Sexual harassment? Mallory's storyline got uncomfortably real. Cold War dread? Oh, they had thoughts. And then there was My Name is Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Hi, Nick. What are you doing here?
What do you mean, what am I doing here? These are all the people in your life, right? I'm in your life.
If you were a kid watching that episode, you probably thought NBC accidentally switched the feed to PBS. Suddenly, you're watching Alex confront death, grief, God, and existentialism, all in a sitcom that 5 minutes earlier had jokes about stock portfolios. It shouldn't have ever worked, but it did, spectacularly. For a show built on political opposites, Family Ties somehow became one of the most emotionally honest series of the 1980s.
Alex, I want to talk to you. I need your advice on something. It's really serious.
Your hair looks great. Can I go now?
Alex, I mean it.
Only this sitcom could hit you with a debate about Reaganomics in one episode and then make you question the meaning of life in the next. 7 seasons, 176 episodes, and a sitcom about political opposites became one of the most emotionally honest shows on NBC. And to think, all this from the show that started as, what if hippies accidentally raised a young Republican? Number 14, Brandon Tartikoff wanted Fox fired, then ate crow, literally. NBC president Brandon Tartikoff watched the Family Ties pilot and delivered the kind of executive note that gets retold in Hollywood for decades. I love the show, you've just got to get rid of the kid. The kid, of course, was Michael J. Fox.
I get the phone call. NBC, we love the show, we're picking it up, we have one note. I go, what's that? Replace Michael Fox.
Tartikoff's reasoning was that Fox didn't have lunchbox appeal, meaning he couldn't imagine children begging their parents to buy merchandise with this fast-talking Canadian's face plastered all over it.
Well, Dad, I was thinking, term papers and exams come and go, but the family unit is the one true constant in life.
As if the ultimate metric for sitcom success was whether or not your face belonged on a metal lunch container next to a peanut butter sandwich.
He goes, well, is he the kind of face that's going to be on a lunchbox, Brandon? I go,
Creator Gary David Goldberg fought to keep Fox, hard, and eventually won. Fast forward a few years, Family Ties is NBC's number 2 show. Back to the Future makes Fox a global icon, and Fox, he doesn't forget. He had a custom lunchbox made, with his own face on it, and sent it to Tartikoff with an inscription that belongs in the Passive-Aggressive Hall of Fame. Quote, "This is for you to put your crow in. Love, me." End quote. Tartikoff kept the lunchbox on his desk until the day he died. Sometimes the kid you nearly fire becomes the network's biggest star. Number 13, Bill Cosby took Thursdays and Family Ties never recovered. For 3 seasons, Family Ties had the best seat in television. Thursday nights tucked right between The Cosby Show and Cheers. NBC's must-see TV lineup was unstoppable, and Family Ties rode that wave straight into the top 5. America tuned in for the Huxtables and stuck around for the Keatons. It was a perfect setup. Then Bill Cosby decided he wanted that plum 8:30 slot for his new spin-off, A Different World. NBC president Brandon Tartikoff said sure, why not? A Different World stayed on Thursdays. Family Ties got shipped off to Sundays.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
Sunday nights in the late 80s were basically television quicksand. Different crowd, tougher competition, and ratings that could sink even a solid hit. The Keatons went from top 5 juggernaut to fighting for airtime like it was a neighborhood yard sale. Now, A Different World absolutely earned its place. It became a hit immediately, but moving Family Ties to Sundays didn't exactly help the Keatons stay afloat, and honestly, after 7 seasons, the cast wasn't pushing for an 8th anyway. They were ready.
Okay, now here's what we do. Everyone take his own fortune cookie, and then we'll break our cookies and we'll read our fortunes aloud.
By 1989, after 2 years of Sunday night exile, Family Ties wrapped things up quietly. No spectacle, no big farewell special, just a simple goodbye episode and curtain call.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary David Goldberg.
Family Ties survived Tartikoff trying to fire Michael J. Fox in 1982, but it couldn't survive the move to Sundays in 1987. Number 12, how Michael J. Fox filmed a sitcom and a blockbuster at the same time. By 1985, Michael J. Fox was living every actor's dream and the kind of nightmare only an NBC contract can create.
This is Alex P. Keaton you're dealing with. I'm a member of the Interfraternity Council, and I go to a college where the students actually have brains.
He'd just wrapped Teen Wolf, a movie he later admitted he wasn't exactly bragging about, and he'd been offered the role that would define the decade.
Hey, George, buddy, I have been looking all over for you. You remember me? The guy who saved your life the other day?
Marty McFly in Back to the Future. One problem though, he was still a full-time cast member on Family Ties, and NBC wasn't about to loan out their breakout star just because some movie needed a kid and a stainless steel time machine. So Fox didn't pick one, he did both at the same time. For 2 months straight, his schedule looked like this. Family Ties from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., then straight to the Back to the Future set until 2 or 3 in the morning. Grab 3 hours of sleep, sometimes in the car, and do it all again. And if this sounds familiar, we just dropped 15 weird facts about Back to the Future. The link is in the description.
Hey, who knows if they got cotton underwear in the future? I'm allergic to all synthetics.
The future. That's where you going.
That's right. 25 years into the future. I've always dreamed of seeing the future, looking beyond my years.
Fox later said he barely remembers sleeping during that stretch. He was running on caffeine, adrenaline, and pure 1980s determination, and somehow it worked. The exhaustion actually helped him nail Marty's wide-eyed, slightly frazzled energy. The craziness started because Robert Zemeckis wanted Fox from day one, but NBC initially refused to release him. So the studio cast Eric Stoltz instead. 6 weeks into filming, everyone realized Stoltz was playing Marty like he was starring in the world's saddest coming-of-age drama. Stoltz is a great actor, just the wrong vibe. Universal made the brutal call to recast, reshoot, and hope Fox could squeeze them in between takes. This time, NBC relented. With the condition that Michael still film Family Ties full-time, he agreed, stepped into the DeLorean, and the rest is pop culture history.
Plutonium. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Hey, keep rolling there. No, this sucker's electrical.
Fox became one of the biggest stars of the decade. Back to the Future became a cultural landmark, and that bananas 2-month schedule, well, that's a story only Michael J. Fox could have survived and somehow made look effortless. Number 11. Mallory got dumber because Justine Bateman played her that way. Mallory Keaton wasn't supposed to be the family airhead. On paper, she was written as fashion-obsessed and boy-crazy. Shallow, maybe, but not clueless. Then Justine Bateman showed up and made a creative choice the writers never saw coming. Whenever Alex tossed one of his signature sarcastic jabs her way, Bateman played it like Mallory thought he was complimenting her.
Mallory, didn't they show you that film in hygiene class? You know, the one with the baby chickies?
Alex, times have changed. They show us one with the babies.
Every insult bounced right off and landed somewhere in the next county. She'd smile, nod, and keep going, completely missing the point in the most endearing way possible. The writers watched this and basically went, "Oh, she's onto something." And once they saw how funny it was, they leaned in hard. Suddenly, Mallory wasn't just missing sarcasm, she was missing, well, a lot of things. What started as she doesn't catch Alex's tone evolved into the ultimate sitcom showdown.
No, I didn't make it up there.
Coward.
Look who's talking. The brave soul who offered me $5 to check behind the shower curtain last night.
I did not. I offered you 3. You said you'd do it for 5.
Alex, the pint-sized conservative prodigy, versus Mallory, the sweet sister who genuinely couldn't tell an insult from encouragement. Gary David Goldberg admitted it himself. We realized the less she understood, the funnier she was, and he was right. Instead of becoming a forgettable 80s pretty girl stereotype, Bateman turned Mallory into one of the show's most beloved characters.
Everyone else has something they're good at. I just wanted to be good at something too.
Her obliviousness wasn't cruel or mocking, it was charming. A kind of sitcom superpower. Those moments where Mallory beams back at Alex after he tries to roast her weren't in the script, it was all Bateman. She gave the writers gold, and to their credit, they knew enough to get out of the way and let her spin it. The writers started with a basic fashionista. Bateman transformed it into a lovable icon, and the show was smart enough to follow her lead for all 7 seasons. Number 10, Matthew Broderick almost played Alex. Before Michael J. Fox became Alex P. Keaton, the very first actor to audition for the role was Matthew Broderick. Yeah, that Matthew Broderick. Creator Gary David Goldberg watched Broderick's tape and immediately thought, there he is, that's Alex.
So Matthew was the first one to read for Family Ties, the part of Alex, and I said what any normal person says, yes, get him a pen, let's make a deal.
But Broderick didn't want to leave New York for Los Angeles. Trading Broadway and bagels for smog and freeways wasn't appealing, so he passed. Enter Michael J. Fox, whose first audition was fine. It wasn't terrible, nor was it amazing, just enough to keep him barely in the conversation.
He nailed it. He just played who he was. He played another side. He was Mike. And as soon as he left, I turned to Judith.
But casting director Judith Weiner saw something the room missed. She pushed hard for a second look. Fox came back, and this time he lit the place up. Fast talk, perfect timing, and that little glint of Keaton arrogance that made him irresistible.
Maybe if we set Ted up in a glass booth, he wouldn't infect.
Come on, Alex, I'd be good.
Broderick stayed in New York and built an iconic film career of his own.
Hello, may I help you?
You can sure as hell try. Hi, I'm Abe Froman. Party of 3 for 12.
Fox went to LA, became America's favorite teenage Republican, a basketball-playing werewolf, and eventually traveled back in time in a DeLorean. In the end, everybody ended up exactly where they were meant to be. Broderick got the movies, Fox got the sitcom, and Family Ties got its Alex P. Keaton, played by the only actor who could have made him unforgettable. Number 9, the show was based on Gary David Goldberg's real life. The Keatons weren't fictional. They were Gary David Goldberg's actual family with the serial numbers filed off for NBC. Goldberg and his wife Diana were legitimate hippies. They hitchhiked around the world, lived in communes, and ran an organic daycare in Berkeley. An organic daycare in Berkeley.
Goldberg's philosophy is gradually pervading the studio.
So we're in the second year now here of the daycare center, which is really nice.
They checked every box of the 1970s counterculture bingo card. They believed in peace, love, and questioning authority. Then they had kids, and as their children grew up, and as their friends' kids grew up, they discovered something horrifying. These ex-flower children weren't raising mini activists, they were raising capitalists.
I won't stand for this. This is a travesty. This is a sin against capitalism.
Goldberg watched his liberal friends grapple with conservative kids who cared more about stock portfolios than saving the whales. It was happening at every dinner table in Berkeley. The birthplace of the free speech movement was now producing teenagers who worshipped Ronald Reagan. Goldberg later admitted the show came straight from his dinner table. The arguments, the confusion, the "how did we raise this kid" panic. His real kid didn't quote Milton Friedman at breakfast, but the spirit was there. Turns out watching ex-hippies try to understand their Wall Street Journal reading son made for great television. The Keatons argued about politics every week for 7 seasons, and somehow that became comfort viewing for millions of Americans and one show creator. Number 8, the not-so-romantic start to an iconic couple. When Tracy Pollan joined Family Ties in 1985 as Ellen Reed, Alex's brainy, no-nonsense girlfriend, her first impression of Michael J. Fox was, let's just say, not love at first sight. Over the years, Pollan has described Fox as funny but very cocky when they first met. Translation, she thought he was a little full of himself. But that impression didn't last. Once they actually started working together, she realized Fox wasn't arrogant, he was just that quick, that sharp, and that good at what he did. They had chemistry, sure, but both were in relationships at the time, so things stayed completely professional.
Alex, I've never met anybody like you. You come on like some pompous, arrogant, obnoxious guy. And underneath that, there's this wide-eyed child, completely innocent and naive.
Oh. Is that sort of a compliment?
Two actors in the 80s not immediately dating their co-stars? Truly a sign of the times. A couple of years later, they reunited filming Bright Lights, Big City, and this time, sparks. Real ones. They married in 1988, built a family together, and through 4 kids and Michael's very public battle with Parkinson's, they've stayed rock solid for more than 3 decades. In Hollywood, where most relationships don't even survive the press tour, that's practically mythological. Not bad for a romance that started with Tracy Pollan thinking, wow, this guy. Turns out the guy she once pegged as full of himself is still the one making her laugh all these years later. Maybe that's why it worked. Alright, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, because if you're enjoying this trip through the Keaton living room, hit like and subscribe. We've got more retro deep cuts coming your way every week. Now, let's get back to the countdown with number 7. The theme song went through multiple artists before landing on the final version. You know the song. That soft romantic duet that made you feel warm and fuzzy about family, even if your actual family dinners involved arguing about Reagan. But it didn't start that way. The first 10 episodes featured a version sung by Dennis Tufano, former lead singer of the Buckinghams, paired with actress Mindy Sterling. Producers hated it, test audiences didn't love it either, and the song that was supposed to make America feel cozy about family just didn't.
I bet we've been together for a million years.
It lacked warmth and emotion and everything a theme song about unconditional love needs. So producers pulled out the big guns, Johnny Mathis and Deniece Williams.
And I can't remember what I ever did before.
2 actual music legends with Grammy nominations and decades of hits between them. They recorded their version. From episode 11 onward, That's What You Heard, and Suddenly Without Us worked. Composed by Jeff Barry and Tom Scott, the Mathis-Williams version became one of the most soothing, instantly recognizable theme songs of the 80s.
And I bet we'll be together for a million more.
The kind of earworm that could make you nostalgic for family dinners you never even had. That's the version that lived in syndication, and that's the one that defined the show. That's the one still stuck in your head 30 years later. Not every show gets a second chance. Family Ties got Johnny Mathis and Deniece Williams, so problem solved.
Without us, sha-la-la-la.
Number 6, Andy Keaton was the show's classic Cousin Oliver edition. By season 5, Family Ties was a well-oiled machine. Alex delivering rapid-fire conservative logic, Mallory missing sarcasm like it was her superpower, Jennifer keeping everyone grounded, and Stephen and Elise trying to figure out how they'd raised a miniature Reaganite. And then, Andy happened.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Like his mother.
Oh no, Stephen, look, he has your eyes.
Though Andy was born in season 3, he was portrayed as a baby by twins until season 5. Cute at first, sure, but by the next season, he'd been magically aged into a wisecracking preschooler. Classic Cousin Oliver syndrome. We covered that in a previous video. Links in the description.
You look like $1 million.
Tax-free.
Andy upset the balance. Adding a precocious kid didn't deepen the show, it diluted it. Instead of sharp political banter, we got cutesy punchlines. Some fans felt this disruption altered the sibling dynamic between Alex, Mallory, and Jennifer, arguing that the show veered into more child-centric humor. Additionally, the show's move from Thursday to Sunday nights after season 5 corresponded with a ratings drop from number 2 to number 17. Brian Bonsall continued acting during the show's final 3 seasons and later pursued music, though he faced personal struggles in adulthood. It's worth noting that he was just a kid actor thrown into the middle of a cultural juggernaut. Looking back, there was something almost endearing about his Andy. The failure wasn't his, it was the writers leaning too hard into cute when the show thrived on sharp generational clashes. Number 5, Nick Moore almost got a spin-off 3 different times. Scott Valentine's Nick Moore wasn't just Mallory's boyfriend, he was the denim-vested, soft-spoken, motorcycle-riding scene stealer nobody saw coming. Nick was so popular that NBC did what NBC always did in the 1980s. They tried to spin him off. Not once, not twice, but 3 times the charm.
And they'd stop making those funny little noises that kids make when the teacher comes into the room. They'd all sit up nice and straight and they'd say, "Good morning, Mr. Moore."
Attempt number 1 was Taking It Home in 1986, where Nick moves to Detroit to live with his grandfather, played by veteran actor Herschel Bernardi. They shot the pilot, tested it, and then Bernardi passed away. With him went the entire project. There was no way to quietly recast beloved grandpa and pretend viewers wouldn't notice. Enter in attempt number 2. It was bold. Nick running a daycare for juvenile delinquents. Yes, really, a daycare for troubled kids run by Nick Moore. This idea never made it past the script stage, probably because at some point someone finally asked, would anyone leave their children with Nick? Then there was attempt 3, The Art of Being Nick in 1987, a backdoor pilot that aired as a Family Ties episode. This time Nick got a job at an art gallery run by a snobby bookstore owner played by a pre-Seinfeld Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Rachel, this is Nick Moore. I'm pleased to meet you, Nick.
Hey. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Rachel Phillips.
Ratings were solid. NBC crossed its fingers and they thought 3rd time's the charm. Then Scott Valentine said no. After watching NBC try to build 3 different shows around him, he'd seen enough. His reasoning was simple. If I do this, I'll be Nick forever. And honestly, that's a fair point. Nick worked beautifully in 10-minute bursts. The gruff exterior, the soft heart, the accidental wisdom, but a full series? 22 episodes a year of, hey, might have been pushing it.
Hey.
In the end, even NBC realized it. Nick stayed exactly where he belonged, dropping in, stealing scenes, and riding off into sitcom history. Number 4, the show was a guest star factory before they were famous. If you ever rewatch Family Ties, keep your eyes peeled. The Keaton living room was basically a farm system for future A-listers. Tom Hanks appeared in 3 early episodes as Elisa's alcoholic brother Ned.
Alex, what do you say we go make a beer run, huh?
Uncle Ned, it's after 2.
You know how to make a beer run, don't you? Just tickle him under his pop top.
A surprisingly heavy performance just before Splash made him America's favorite charming everyman. Gina Davis showed up in 1984 as Karen, a disastrously incompetent housekeeper who couldn't cook, clean, or do literally anything right.
Can you cook?
Cook? No.
So, you have no experience, no references, and you can't cook.
That's right.
A few years later, she'd be nominated for an Oscar. That's quite the glow-up. And long before she was Monica Geller on Friends, Courtney Cox played Alex's girlfriend Lauren Miller for 19 episodes between 1987 and 1989. Tabloids speculated about a real-life romance between Cox and Fox, but by then, Fox was already with Tracy Pollan. Nice try, tabloids. Wrong storyline. The bench was deep. Julia Louis-Dreyfus before Seinfeld, River Phoenix before, well, everything. Christina Applegate, Martha Plimpton, Will Wheaton, all of them just kids showing up for a guest spot paycheck before they would become household names.
Got it! Okay, the rest of you watch me! Okay, kitten, hands! Okay! Alright, Betty bye!
Family Ties was kind of like Hollywood's unofficial audition room. If you had a crush on someone in the 1990s, chances are they walked through the Keaton house in the 1980s first. Either the casting directors had incredible instincts for spotting future stars, or every young actor in Hollywood did time on Family Ties at some point. It's probably a little bit of both. Number 3, most episodes followed a 6 scenes and Alex apologizes structure. Almost every Family Ties episode ended the same way. Alex messes up, learns a lesson, apologizes. Cue the emotional music and fade to black every single time.
I'm sorry, it's just so damn beautiful.
The writers must have had a chalkboard in the room with a formula written on it, 6 scenes and a tag, and the final beat, Alex apologizes. They didn't even pretend to be creative about it. The formula sat there on the wall staring at them every single day. Creator Gary David Goldberg openly admitted this in interviews. "We just left it up. Alex apologizes, some version of it."
Yeah, I think that's a very big part of it, because you don't get this kind of performance and this kind of commitment, and you don't get these people to stay if you can't make it a real pleasant place to be.
That was the rule. Every episode, no exceptions. The formula came from sitcom legends Jim Brooks and Alan Burns, who'd perfected it on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Taxi. If it worked for Mary Richards, it would work for Alex P. Keaton, and it did work. Brilliantly. Here's why. Alex could be greedy, arrogant, and manipulative, and ruthless for 20 minutes straight, as long as he felt bad about it in the last 2.
You wanted to tell me what a jerk I was, how rude I was, how obnoxious, presumptuous, manipulative.
Keep going. I think you're onto something.
Carrie, I am sorry.
The formula gave the writers permission to make Alex insufferable because they knew the apology was coming. He got to be the villain and the hero in 22 minutes. Alex could scheme his way through an entire episode, treating his family like obstacles in his path to wealth and success, and America forgave him every time, as long as he realized he was wrong before the credits rolled. Turns out you can get away with almost anything if you apologize with the right background music. Family Ties proved it 176 times. Number 2, the show resurrected a 5-year-old flop song and made it number 1. In 1981, Billy Vera and the Beaters released At This Moment, a romantic ballad that was sweet, soulful, and commercially dead on arrival. The song limped to number 79 on the Billboard charts and disappeared because nobody cared and nobody remembered. Billy Vera went back to playing bars, life moved on, and the song was dead. And then in 1985, Family Ties brought it back to life like some kind of musical necromancy.
What did you think I would do at this moment?
The show used At This Moment during an emotional breakup scene between Alex and his girlfriend Ellen, played by Tracy Pollan, who would later become Fox's real wife. The song played as Alex realized he was losing her, and suddenly a 5-year-old forgotten ballad became the most devastating soundtrack on television.
What did you think I would say at this moment?
Fans called radio stations demanding to know what the song was. Stations started playing it, and people who couldn't have cared less about Billy Vera in 1981 were now obsessed in 1986. Rhino Records, smelling money like sharks smell blood, re-released the single. In January of 1987, 6 years after its original failure, At This Moment hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Billy Vera was 42 years old. Most musicians' careers are over by then. His hadn't even started yet. All because a teenage Republican had a breakup scene on Thursday night television. Number 1, Sit Ubu Sit was a real dog and a real loss. If you grew up watching Family Ties or Spin City or anything Gary David Goldberg touched, you've heard this hundreds of times. Sit Ubu Sit, good dog.
Sit Ubu Sit, good dog.
That wasn't just branding. That was Goldberg immortalizing his black lab, Ubu Roy, who'd been his travel companion during his hitchhiking around Europe college years. Because of course, the guy who created a show about ex-hippies was an actual ex-hippie with a dog named after a French absurdist play. When Goldberg launched his production company for Family Ties, he named it Ubu Productions and slapped that photo on everything. The closing tag became iconic. Goldberg's own voice saying the line followed by a bark. Well, a sound effect bark.
Sit Ubu Sit, good dog.
Apparently Ubu had zero interest in performing it, so even the dog had a voice actor. Now here's where it gets heavy. Ubu died in 1984, just 2 years into Family Ties' run. Goldberg kept the tag anyway, not as a logo, but as a memorial. That tag lived on through Spin City and became one of TV's most recognizable closing moments.
Baby red.
Sit Ubu Sit, good dog.
And there you have it, 15 weird facts about Family Ties. Which one surprised you the most? Drop your favorite fact in the comment section below because we read them all, even the ones swearing that I'm AI, which I'm actually not, okay? I'm letting you know now, this is a real person. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more nostalgic dives into the shows that defined growing up in the 1980s. Until next time, this is Remember When, and I promise I'm real, okay?